I like to go to different events. Definitely, if you go out, like what's happening in the community on your off day. I know after news it can be daunting and you can feel like, oh, I'm kind of tired. I just want to stay in and Netflix and chill. I know so many reporters because we get so tired. It's like I'm just gonna stay in. I'm not about to do anything else. But no, go out there. And sometimes it's okay to go by yourself. If you can go by yourself, I promise you, as a reporter, you'll make tons of friends. Because then people are like, oh, okay, cool. Like, do you want to hang out with us? All that good stuff.
Social media. You'll hear me talk about that a lot. Majority of my guests I met either via social media or social media has allowed me to stay in contact with them on a regular basis. This week, I speak with Jade Jackson. Jade is a reporter in Louisiana who discusses the gift and the curse that is social media, but she also discusses what it's like to be that young reporter looking to get adjusted in a new area. She talks about the importance for a young journalist to become a part of the community. So sit back and take some knowledge, take down some notes. If you're a young, aspiring reporter, this is one of the conversations you need to be listening to. Ladies and gentlemen, Jade Jackson.
Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, I am on the phone with my good friend. You may know her as Jade from Twitter, but she is the real deal, Jade Jackson. Jade, how you feeling today?
I feel good. Also, I'm not Jade from Twitter. I'm also Jade the Great, Jade the Journalist, Jade Jackson, Miss Jackson, if you really know me. Hi, everybody.
I had to say Jade from Twitter because when we was at NABJ in Miami this past year, I remember your tweets and you were saying in a group chat, a lot of people was like, they was asking you, oh, you're Jade from Twitter. So, I had to play on that. I had to mess with you.
Yeah. But it's all
So, Jade, what made you want to become Jade the journalist?
so there's like layers to it. There's different layers of my journey. So actually starting out, I guess like when I was in college, I didn't have like that hashtag or that nickname until after college. Before when I was in college, I was called like Jade the Great. I didn't call myself that. Let me not say that, but everybody else kind of pegged me that, and it was like a cute little pet name, only because of my I guess my journey and how transparent I always was about internships and news and trying to kind of cultivate a resume that will look good for a job someday. So now with like Jade the journalist, I'm kind of trying to rebrand that to make it more professional so that people can see me as, okay, I'm not the cute little kid anymore. I'm actually grown now. Like, let's go.
So, what would you say? Obviously, you've done so much in such a little time. What has been your biggest moment thus far?
Being chosen to be a part of the Fox News MMR program out of 150 applicants in the country, I was the top 10. Unfortunately, I wasn't the top 5, but my homegirl Jayla's holding it down for the culture up there at Fox News. So I congratulate her. But even just being chosen was such an honor because it's like, wow, y'all had to see something in me with as little experience as I have to want me to come out there. Like, y'all fly me out, y'all house me, y'all give me an opportunity to network, like, beyond any of my networking at a network level. So, yeah.
Now, you we talk about social media and its importance. How has that helped you along your career?
So social media could be a blessing and a curse. In some ways, I think it's been more of a blessing than a curse for me. Only because I've gotten a lot of interviews because of my social media. I've gotten a lot of internships because of my social media. I've gotten a lot of attention, positive, because I get to showcase not only my personality, but also the fact that, hey, I'm actually good at this. I'm not just one of those people that just wants to be on TV. But I think that that's really good. And I think it's interesting to see because it's always like a balancing act for people. I get a lot that like a lot of older people or even some younger people always tell me like, I don't know how to do it. Like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I don't know. I just post. So, and people like it. So, yeah.
I was just getting ready to ask you that, like, as far as what's the best advice? I know you say you just post, but what's like the best advice you could give to somebody who may be struggling with trying to find that balance of
Mm-hmm.
when am I tweeting too much about personal stuff? Should I tweet more about reacting to the news or the industry that I'm trying to be a part of?
Well, definitely, I'd say Twitter in itself should never be personal. After college, it should be personal. I think we all kind of try to showcase, but at the end of the day, you don't want to appear like, oh my God, I'm trying to be personal, because then you look fake. It's not authentic. Just be yourself. And if yourself is professional, then that's just what it is at the end of the day. And then so on Twitter, I'd say keep it very like newsy. If it's not inspirational, motivational, if it doesn't impact somebody, then don't tweet it. If it's about you, I don't want to see it. No one cares. Like no one cares at all. On Instagram though, you can be a bit more flexible, but still remembering that what you post on your story, whether you just show your close friends or not, that's going to be on your story. End of the day. Um, and it could be consumed and taken and reposted. You just don't know. But if you want to like kind of get away from the newsiness of it, you can have like your Instagram. Facebook, I'm actually still trying to learn Facebook because I'm a part of that demographic that does not gravitate to that app, um, or that social media site. But I'm trying, since most of a lot of news markets are Facebook. So you do have to learn how to master it. So it's just like little things. What can the people who are on Facebook who live in my market get from me? What can they learn from me? Or what can I give them? So it's kind of like trying to think outside the box to where I can kind of grow that social media platform as well. But that's my advice.
Now, you talked about um, market. You have, obviously jumped out of your comfort zone a couple of times, going to different places where you're not from.
Mm-hmm.
How has that been, and what kind of advice would you give to that journalist that's fresh out of school, that's moving, landing their first job in a place they may never even heard of as a child?
Um, well, especially if you're in smaller markets, you're definitely going to hear of places that you've never heard of before. And with that being said, you have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to understand. Because just because you're not a part you feel like you're not a part of the community, you're fresh, you're new, you're kind of like, I am not from here. You can't reject the culture of any place, no matter where it is. You're in the middle of Iowa, you're in the middle of Idaho. You really do have to cultivate yourself around a community, open your mind to learn who they are, so that you can report on them. Because I wholeheartedly believe you can't do that. Excuse me. I wholeheartedly believe that you can't actively be a good journalist if you're not a part of a community. You gotta figure that out.
Now, how long did it take you to get acclimated with those communities? And have you like come across a lot of the same people and
Mm-hmm.
essentially become, I don't want to say friends, but more so like associates of like with people in the community? Like, what's that process like?
So I'm still young. I think a lot of the news that I'm covering, I'm going to be dealing with or associating with a lot of older people. But because I'm an old soul, I can click with them a little bit better. But it's kind of like if you make those connections, it's like, well, hey, I mean, you got a niece, a nephew, like, um, I like to go to different events. Definitely, if you go out, like what's happening in the community on your off day. I know after news it can be daunting and you can feel like, oh, I'm kind of tired. I just want to stay in and Netflix and chill. I know so many reporters because we get so tired. It's like I'm just gonna stay in. I'm not about to do anything else. But no, go out there. And sometimes it's okay to go by yourself. If you can go by yourself, I promise you, as a reporter, you'll make tons of friends. Because then people are like, oh, okay, cool. Like, do you want to hang out with us? All that good stuff. And so I just go to different events. I will go to the same reoccurring event, like for example, out here in Shreveport, there's a thing that they do every Monday called Words Over Latte, where it's like spoken word, comics and different talents singing or rapping or different skill sets. And me being there, just like, I don't know anything about this culture, but I'm going to immerse myself in it. And they see me enough times, they're like, oh, hey, Jade, you know? And then, of course, I know them, they know me. So in case they ever do need me, it's, oh, I got Jade's number. Let me give her a tip about this, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Um, so everybody I asked on the show, the title of the show is called "Breaking Through the Glass Ceiling."
Mm-hmm.
What was your moment? And obviously, I know some people may say, "Well, I haven't broken through yet." To me, knowing you, watching you, as proud as I am of you, you broke through a glass ceiling. What was
Mm-hmm.
or what was the moment you broke through a glass ceiling?
Mm, I broke through a glass ceiling when I realized that this industry is not what they tell you it is in college. It's not all cookies and rainbows. Um, this industry will eat you up and spit you out. So I've learned that you better taste good or you better be poisoned because you really need to kill it. Um, it goes back to me also knowing I going to change myself for this industry. I'm not going to conform for this industry. It's either going to have to accept me or something's got to give. And so it's going along. I'm still young in my career, you know. Eventually, I'm gonna probably get to a few other bridges when I get ready to cross them, where I'm gonna be faced with a lot of decisions that are probably gonna go against my moral compass or probably go against what I want for myself and who I am. But I just gotta remember, like, mm, nobody who ever really had to give up themselves for a head start really got ahead. So that's all I have to
Wow,
say.
wow, that's deep. Now, can you talk about your NABJ experience? I always like, excuse me, anytime I can have my brothers or sisters who
Yeah.
are also a part of the National Association of Black Journalists on here, I love to hear their experience. Because we all have different ones.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's where I landed my first job at ESPN. So I'm always looking to help the next person. I'm always a walk-in poster child for NABJ, whether it's in my office or in these media streets.
Right, right.
Tell the world about Jade Jackson's NABJ experience.
My NABJ experience, I guess, like you said earlier, it's Jade from Twitter. I'm like, hey, y'all, I really feel like NABJ, y'all really like them annoying cousins that I love to be around. I can't
Yeah.
help it. But then, after like the third day, fourth night, I'm kind of like, all right, y'all, I'm done. Like, okay. Then I'll be ready to go, but not really, because then when it is time to go, I'm like, dang, nobody's here. Y'all leaving. Y'all going back to y'all jobs. You still looking for a job? Okay. That type of thing. NABJ to me really is, we're the biggest organization for journalists. I didn't even realize that. And it's always interesting when I go to different meet the team sections of websites, and you will only see like one or two of us, depending on the market. But when we
Mhm.
get to NABJ, it feels like it's so much more. Like we really are a big family, and I'm kind of like, yo, this is nice. Like, and then we live in a world of social media, so I get to follow everybody and kind of understand everyone's journeys, whether they are like, and I love like meeting people to where, sure, we're always going to be professional, but you get to know people on a personal level beyond who they are on TV, and it's like, wow, like who you are, I'm vibing with you spiritually, sis. I love it. I love it. Um, and ABJ to me is a place where, no cap, I do finesse. And no cap, I probably do use the "Hey, I'm Jade" card a lot because I end up, getting to meet a couple of celebrities or whatever. Just for a little clout. It's cute, whatever. But then at the end of the day, the most important thing, when you go to that career fair or you go to those different seminars and you learn things that you never knew. Oh, this is like, I could take this, and you go back and if you apply everything that you learned at NABJ, that's the whole point of it, to make you a better journalist, to cultivate those relationships. We are a big family. It's like a family reunion. We do get to have fun. We swag surf and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, we are serious about our business. And I feel like we the best organization. That's me. No cap.
Oh, well, I agree. have, I work in media relations and healthcare, and when I go back to the
Mhm.
office, my colleagues are like, "Oh, so NAVJ look fun." They see the Instagram stories or the Snapchats. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, we had a ball," and then there's kind of the so you went there for work. You could kind of see it. Maybe not my direct team because my team understands, but like some people
Yeah.
on other teams. And then I showed them like all the notes that I got, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, like yeah, we were working. We worked
We
from nine to
worked, but we
five.
had fun too. Yeah.
But we party after five. What would you say was one of the things that you could like off bat that you remember like learning at one of the sessions at NABJ that you was able to apply, whether it was in your news package or on your resume or on social media?
So I actually went to one of them this past year in Miami where they talked about it was the early ones too because I remember I was so tired, but they were talking about international journalism,
Mm-hmm.
how that kind of works. I didn't even realize, like, over in Europe, like the BBC and all that, like, they love local news. And America is so opposite. America, we always watch national news. We'll watch like Fox or CNN or NBC or MSNBC, those type of entities. But local news is kind of like, not really viewed as much. But over in Europe, it's on a bigger scale. It's like we love local news. That's the point. Like, why
Oh
would we watch
wow.
the whole world when we can just watch our local news that pertains to us? So it's a different mindset. And if I ever, had the opportunity to go overseas for any reason, that would be like exciting to me because now I'm in a position where I'm doing local news, and not to say like oh, I feel like America doesn't appreciate it, but to have be in a country or countries where they go above and beyond for it, I think that'd be nice.
Wow, that's news to me.
Yeah, see, we learn it in ABJ.
Well, see, that's the beauty of it, right? You go to a session, I can go to a session, we can exchange information because I mean, there's so many great sessions. I know you're not as into sports, which is always funny in the journalists on the rise group chat on Facebook. I mean,
Yep.
Twitter that
Yeah.
when we
I don't
having
even know what y'all talking about. I'm like, can y'all get a second group chat?
oh come on, you love it,
I'm just
but
always interested with something random, and y'all still don't care.
no, I care. I usually will
No, I
respond.
don't care. I'll be like, guys, I got a job today. Oh my god, some sports. Okay.
No, but like what's so cool is that you like I said, sometimes somebody may go to one session and somebody else go to another session, and you can kind of like I think a lot of younger journalists don't realize that people who go for the first time who may go in pairs or go in groups, but they don't realize that you can kind of attack these sessions as a unit.
Yo,
And
low key. Yes.
it's kind of like school, right? Because it's like, okay, you take the notes from this class, I take the notes from that class, we'll bring them together and then exchange information. It's been plenty of sessions where people have asked me, hey, you got the notes for this? Boom, email it, send it, or whatever.
Period. Right.
So that's the thing that I really love about it. And I know a lot of people, as like spoiler alert, the first few guests on this show have been people that's in the media business, and people are like, so all you going to do is interview media people? I'm like, well, no, but I mean that's my family, my first and foremost, and my passion. Um, but it's so many different stories. Everybody has a different story on
Right.
how they got to where they are.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so like can you tell us, inform the world about main source media? Because
Mm.
I really love what you're doing right there because this just goes to show how giving you are. Because it's like I remember it's like since we met, it's always been like, what can you do? Like, I mean, just most of your tweets are advice tweets, especially as we ramp up into um June, July, where we're getting ready for NABJ. You're out there giving out a lot of tips, even though the one you did take one of the tweets from me. I ain't
Yeah.
forget,
I mean,
but
I felt did I credit you on the tweet?
no, you didn't because you made no,
Do you
but
even
you.
remember what the tweet is?
Oh, I
You don't even
definitely
remember
remember.
it. See, look
How
at you.
much you
You
want to
over here
bet?
for the tweet over here want to bring up some old stuff. Why you gotta do me like this, Brian?
Because the
I'm a
tweet,
know y'all. Don't listen
the
to him. Don't
the
believe him.
No, the tweet said we was in the
You
group chat
remember
on
this?
group
Oh my
me.
God.
And
Hey,
of
Brian,
course I remember.
let me I had a good day today. We should talk about something else.
No, but no, you know, seriousness though. No, I'm gonna tell people what the tweet was. It was, don't forget social media is your resume is more than that paper you hand to recruiters. It's also your social media.
I
But
mean, but anybody, that's a no-brainer. You can't act like it was your tweet. I mean, you might have put the idea in my head or something like,
I was gonna say, low
stay
key,
following me.
I mean, low key, you had some high momentum that day, so it probably it was probably best that you tweeted. I'll give you that one. But
Thank you.
you know, like I said, that wasn't because that wasn't the only gem you had dropped throughout that time period. So I look at, you know, like I said, you always look into giving and helping the next in line, the next generation. Can you
Yeah.
tell the world about the main source media?
Okay, so the main source media, where your main source is Jesus Christ, is a
Amen.
Christian-based platform for Christian storytellers. We'll say more so spiritual storytellers because we believe that whatever your denomination is, if you're Muslim, if you're Jewish, if there's something that you can take away from us, please do. We're Christian-based, but we also say we'll open it up to spiritual, and we'll also open it up to just God because there's different facets of who people call their God, whether it's Allah, the universe, all of that. I started this because I had a dream, and it was a really interesting dream. If you know me, you know that I am actually very spiritual. Mm,
Hmm.
this year, 2019, has been the hardest year of my life. As amazing and as supportive everybody is of me and my journey, of course, you do have those moments where when you fail, it is going to be out there because you're out there. And when you fail, you learn that a lot of people are actually happy that you failed. And that's a hard pill to swallow when you're like, oh my God, what did I do to y'all? But this year was hard. I lost a lot. I lost a job, my very first job. I lost a relationship that, you know, was very public. I lost friends in this industry that I learned were not my friends. And I just lost myself, man. I really just lost myself, and I was trying to figure out what am I going to do this whole year, like literally since probably April. Like that's like the beginning part of the year. Um, I was just lost, period, point blank. So in that, I said, okay, well, God, what are you trying to teach me? What's going on? What are we doing here? And I realized I put journalism, I put reporting, I put a title in front of him when
Mm.
I thought, oh, God, you keep blessing me. I ain't even going to church, but I promise I'm going to go to church. I got you. I got you. And he really had to like humble me, sit me down, and say, like, no, like, this is not your God. These people are not your God. Like, this job is not your God. I'm God. And so I'm like, okay, I immerse myself in the word. And in the word, when you actually read the Bible, because everybody in their mind will want to post scriptures, but don't nobody really read the
Hmm.
Bible. And I'm like, okay, y'all. But when you
Tell them.
actually read the word, it's like I'm reading all these scriptures about all these negative connotations that God doesn't like. And I start to be revealed that it starts to be revealed to me that a lot of the industry, the journalism industry, this is what happens in news, whether it's a spirit of jealousy, whether it's a spirit of gossip. Because what do we like to say? Oh, girl, we naturally nosy. Or, oh, girl, no, like we're journalists. It's what we do. No, we can't say that anymore. And you know, what else? Like when you talk about toxic newsrooms, you already have situations like, you know, gap, like pay wage and gaps, like we're not getting paid a lot in news, you know, whether it's for a newspaper, a magazine, online publication, or television, or radio, or entertainment, whatever faucet it is, we're not getting paid as much as it is. And it can be very draining. And it's like, dang. And so in my head, I'm like, well, dang, God, I'm not supposed to do journalism? This sucks because I don't know what else to do. I done failed at every other job in the universe. Journalism was the only thing that I was good at. So I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do now? And I couldn't discern whether it was him or me saying this, but you know, it was kind of like you're supposed to be a journalist. But I didn't know if it was just me trying to be like, okay, well, I think I'm supposed to be a journalist, and God just like, you know, just gonna sit me down until like I get my next job, and that's just what we gonna do. But no, I had a dream that night, And when I had a dream, I was standing in the middle of a room and it was dark. It was like a huge room, dude. Like imagine it was kind of like a video game simulation. And I looked down. I had on some red sneakers, I think, and I had like uh, a jacket. Like I looked like a video game character. There was a light.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a light on my chest that started to glow. And I looked down and I saw that there was sand underneath my feet. So I just started walking around the room, kind of like, okay, this is what we doing. I see another light. Oh, it's interesting because I'm not gonna say his name on this podcast. You know who he is, but
Mhm.
there's another light in the distance, and I say, "Oh, that must be another person." So I run towards them, and I realize this is somebody from NABJ that I know, and I've told him like, "You're the person in my dream. I've been going around on these podcasts doing this little press tour." And he's like, "What? That's crazy!" But like when I saw him, I held his hand. We looked at each other, smiled, and it was like, "Oh, we shine brighter." Then we see other lights. And it's like, ooh, let's go chase them. So we chase them down. We grab each other's hands. We start making this human chain like a circle or an oval. And the next thing you know, in this dark room, all of a sudden it's brightly lit. And when I woke up, the symbolism in the dream just comes to me because, like I said, I'm spiritual. I'm like, yo, we're supposed to be lights in the darkness. So is that my purpose, God? Is that what you're trying to tell me? And I swear, it just came to me. Like God told me. I can't even swear because you're not even supposed to swear. But God told me the Bible was actually written by storytellers. So you tell me what you think your purpose is really supposed to be here. So I'm like, what? So then that's when I started thinking of this concept, like the main source media. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to be a light, God? Like, do I just like tweet Bible verses? I don't know. Like, make it an official business? I don't know. Because I'd always had plans on cultivating my own business anyway because of the whole pay thing with, being in this industry. Look, you got to be your own boss. I'm just saying. And so I'm thinking, oh, I'm just going to switch that around and I'm going to make my business solely based for you. How about that? And at first it was kind of weird because it's like, well, what do I call it? Ooh, and then originally y'all lucky because the first name I had was like Jesus and Journals. Oh my God, so cute. And it was like, so it's like, okay, but the main source, because when you go out there as a journalist, you get your sources, but you got to remember the main source for anything that you do in this world and your amazing talent as it develops and grows only comes from one source, and that's God. He's the main source. So that's,
Amen.
yeah, that's the significance of the name. But what we do, we're daily encouragement for the spiritual storyteller. But behind the scenes, and of course, we're fresh, we're new, we're going to get there. 2020, I have some amazing plans that's going to be implemented, but we want to help the next storyteller. We did a little giveaway. I know you was part of it, fam. You make sure you got your little $5 because we did $100 Cash App giveaway. Where we just post, hey guys, like we want y'all to answer, how is journalism a gift? If you can do that, you could be eligible for a $100 giveaway, which, $100 Cash App giveaway. And, because we didn't have like a lot of people in this first go around, I decided to give $5 to the people who did participate, because it was like, all right, y'all help me out. But we're going to grow, I promise. We did exactly what we intended to do was build our engagement. So over the next few months, we're going to be building our engagement, getting people kind of interested, like, okay, I like this. But the overall goal is, when you have those MMJs who are fresh out of college, even if you've been, working in your jumping markets, you might start off in a really small market and then jump, but you're still kind of in a small market. Or even if you're in a
Mhm.
mid market, nowadays, people be in mid markets and big markets and still might need a little bit of help. So we're going to offer all types of giveaways. Sure, we'll offer cash incentives, but we're also going to offer if you need clothes to wear on air. 'Cause what's one thing they don't teach you in journal or J school? No one teaches you what to wear on air, really, depending on your program, because that's not the most important thing with storytelling. But that's why we here. Let us worry about what you're going to wear and be presentable while you work on your craft, because not everybody can afford nice clothes to wear. So if I can buy you 5 outfits, that's like a week's worth of clothes. Like, come on. That's just something that we want to be able to give back and do. If you need groceries, you can come to us because I've heard it all before with people doing different stories about food pantries. And it's like, dang, I actually need to come back to this food. But it's like weird because it's like, oh, you're on TV. You can't be doing that bad if you have a career. And it's like, well, I don't know about that, fam. Look, I feel hungry. So we can be that safe space where if you feel like, okay, I maybe I don't want to be seen, or maybe it's embarrassing, or just know that you have a safe space where you can go and get the resources and the help that you need, as well as, we just be dropping little cute quotes and stuff on our Instagram, and they vibe with it. So that's pretty much the gist of our mission.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Is there any way, is there a link or something where people can support the main source media?
Of
That way
course.
they can, okay, let them know. 'Cause-
So our main page is growing on Instagram. So
mm,
Instagram.com/, the main source media, Twitter.com/, the main source media, Facebook.com/, the main source media. We will be launching our blog January 2020, which will be the mainsourcemedia.com. On this blog, again, it's just going to be like standard stuff. How do you deal with toxic newsrooms as a young Christian journalist? How do you navigate, job hunting, or trusting the process, or even, something like, oh, let me think. What else is, like, we'll have blog posts that people can relate to, and resources and solutions to a lot of problems that can be explained in the Bible. Just saying.
mm.
Um, yeah, and so that'll be coming. And eventually, I can't give away everything, but we're gonna have some good stuff. We're gonna have some really good stuff, and eventually some nice events. But I can't give it all away. So yeah,
Yeah, what about financially? Is there anything, is there a way, do they just go to the link if somebody wants to make a donation?
of course. So if you go to our Instagram page now, eventually this will be on our website. Oh well, if you're launching this in January, okay, go to our website. Our website will be up by then. So, of course, go to our website, the main source media. You can support our t-shirt line that we have. We have all types of t-shirts. We have long sleeve. We have hoodies, and we try to get different designs that'll go on it. Little cute sayings for whether you're a producer or a reporter or anybody like that. You can find something for you. That's one way that you can support us. You can also support us by literally just sharing our page and letting people know that we exist. That way, it's like, hey, y'all, we're here for y'all, just so y'all know. Eventually, I can't give away what's going to happen, but there's going to be other things that people will be able to support and buy, which are going to be even bigger than like the apparel line or the jewelry line that we're going to have. So, yeah, y'all got to stay tuned.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited for it. Um, like I said, Jay, I tell you this all the time. Like, I'm so proud of you, so proud of the work that you're
Yeah.
doing. And keep being you. People will always want to try to change us. Hey, there was a time, you know how much I love wrestling. There was a time where I
Mm,
got made fun of. Some of the people I went to high school with, and I'm 33 years old, so let's see, about 15, 20 years ago, people say, oh, you like that stuff, it's fake, this, that, and the other. And now they be, excuse my language, but on my heels because they say, oh man, I see you doing your thing with your wrestler show and you at these shows, XYZ. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, like I forgot all the stuff you said. So, um, the same people that try to laugh at you while you trying to make it up, not saying you look down on them, but you'll be
yeah,
looking down while they sitting up there looking up to you while you are where you want
yeah,
to be, you know.
yeah. That's how it goes. But even if I'm looking down, I'm still sprinkle some blessings because that's
Bingo.
who I am. Yeah.
So, any final thoughts? Anything you want the people to know about you, and and let people know where they can follow you?
Yes, of course. So my final thoughts would be I'm always here. My DMs are open. Literally, I am so approachable. I've struggled a little bit with trying letting people have access to me, but the right people I know are going to come along, and I have good discernment. So if y'all ever need anything from me, please let me know. Let me know. Especially even on the main social media. If you don't win a giveaway or if you don't win any of our incentives, like you can slide me a DM and look like be like, hey sis, like listen, really struggling, or ACES, I really got this going on. Can I, talk to you and get some help? I got you. You guys can follow me on Twitter at I am Jade Jackson, all caps locks. Follow me on Instagram at Jade the Journalist. You can check me out with everything else on my own personal website, jadejacksononline.com. Thank you.
All right, Jade. I definitely appreciate you coming on. Folks, make sure you follow her. She is the real deal. So, like I said, I was very excited about having her on here, and now you see why.
No cap, no cap.
All right. Thank you.
All right, bye.
What a great time I had with my good friend Jade Jackson, my National Association of Black Journalists sister. Next week, I'm excited to bring on another good sister of mine, the one and only Miss Brianna Douglas. Brianna just moved to Fort Wayne, Indiana, securing her first job out of college. So I was happy that when she was able to give me this interview, it was literally right after she had just finished moving. So we get to have a immediate conversation about her new role, but also about how she was able to get there. And one of the things we're going to talk about is how her broadcast reel went viral on Twitter, and that was a huge component for her landing her job. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Through the Glass Ceiling. I really appreciate all the love and support that I have been receiving from this show. And don't worry, if I haven't reached out to you yet, 10 times out of 10, I will be reaching out because I want to find out your story to get how you got to where you are now. Just remember, do not let anybody put a ceiling that you will not allow yourself to break through. So long, everybody. This podcast is brought to you by B. Waters Productions. It is produced and edited by myself, Brian H. Waters, with the music brought to you by Hypnosis. You can find Hypnosis on Instagram at hypno_beats.